What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty, back again with another video. And that's right, folks, we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily wrap after a day of RPG madness. That's right. Although we have entered RPG Burnout, our boy Phil made sure to fire up Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Bag. And both of them were, our boy Phil's Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of dying. It's getting there. Pretty soon he's going to be barely hitting the tier 1 tip goal. And of course, Like a Dragon, no one watches or supports that horrible playthrough. It was pretty much a disaster stream last night with our boy clocking in a huge $5 in support. So anyway, let's see what Phil had to say. By the way, yes, Disney Princess Phil is back. And the reason is the man is delusional and living in a fairy tale world. So we might as well have an image of him that suits him best.
RPG day, meaning all day long it was RPG fun and RPG chill vibes. Great progress in both RPGs today, by the way. We'll talk about that in a sec. But before we do, podcast today was very meaningful. We had a lot of stuff to talk about, including the fact that now I found out if you're into the podcast or this show, The Daily Wrap, and if you're very interested in it, but you don't want to have to follow along my YouTube channel or be bombarded with all the videos that I upload every day, if you have the app YouTube Music, you can actually follow the Level 1 podcast or the Daily Wrap as a podcast on there, and it'll just be delivered to you every day. I didn't know that, and then I found out last night. I was like, what is this? And I opened it, and it had all these podcasts listed, and mine was there, and I'm like, oh, well, that's something people should do. You know, for many, months, people have said, are you ever going to put your podcast style shows on Spotify or on Apple Music? And I'm like, no, because I want people to go to YouTube to watch it. This is where I make money. I'm not going to make any money on other places. I want them focused on my YouTube channels. So YouTube Music, use it to follow. And by the way, we also found out that if you're a YouTube Premium subscriber, basically YouTube Music is free, meaning you get a lot of music on there to listen to for free. You don't have to pay for it. And you also get a free membership to a channel, which I didn't know. So YouTube Premium has basically gotten a lot better over the years, and it's just some of the nice features they've added. So anyway, that's one of the things we talked about on the show. We also talked about Rise of the Ronin, which is now getting its early game previews out. People who got advanced copies are starting to talk about the game. They're not formally reviewing it yet.
Okay, so first of all, YouTube Music will save the business. It's always some gimmick with Phil here. That's the only way that he can prop up his pathetic channel. I'm not too familiar with YouTube Music, but I'm pretty sure you don't get paid for that, Phil. I'm guessing what it does is it converts the podcast into audio form. So if someone's listening to it on YouTube Music, I'm not sure if anyone's getting any ads because this says YouTube Premium, and I'm not sure you're getting paid for any of this. It's just kind of a nice to, hey, check it out, listen to your podcast. Unless you're gonna go out there and maybe set a fee to watch it. I'm not sure. I have to research a little bit here, but I'm not sure how many people are actually gonna want to go and listen to a podcast. I mean, you have what? You get 200, 300 people that actually watch that podcast after the fact, I guess, because this isn't going to happen during the I'm assuming it gets posted after your podcast is over. So really, Phil, what's the point? What's the point? If anything, I think you're watering yourself down. Now, I don't agree with you not streaming on multiple platforms. I think that's dumb. I think you can actually earn some money streaming on Rumble and a few other folks. And you can kind of diversify, maybe bring new people to your, to your streams. And of course, that won't last long because they'll see the type of person you are and they'll bounce. But anyway, it still will give you some exposure. But this YouTube Music thing, to me, it just sounds like YouTube Shorts all over again. Phil thinking this was a great idea that he's going to get paid somehow and then really make nothing and then just dump it. Just don't do it at all. When was the last time Phil did a YouTube Short or even mentioned YouTube Short? So give it a couple weeks and we'll no longer hear YouTube Music will get sent to Banned World just like everything else. And of course, it will not save the business for our boy Phil.
But they are giving first impressions, and they seem pretty interesting. So we talk about those in depth on today's podcast. But in addition to that, many other topics discussed, other game news, all kinds of stuff. So give the show a look. It was actually a really good show today with a lot of variety in the topics. So then we jumped back into Baldur's Gate 3. And today, lots of progress. We basically made giant progress in the Hag quest line, which we didn't even know really what was going on with it. And then we began it and continued it today, and it was really interesting. In addition to that, we went into the counting house, which is really the vault or bank, and there was a big-ass surprise plot line with combat in there that we did. There's a lot today, a lot of stuff. And ding, ding, ding. At the very end of the stream, we hit level 12. So all of my characters now are maxed. There is no other leveling after level 12. So literally anything I do in the game at this point is just for fun or story. It's not to get experience and make my characters better. I got some really awesome abilities. Like, for example, with Karlak, I got Tavern Brawler. And this is going to make her way better with the build that I gave her. So I'm excited for this to play more, okay? So overall, great questing progress. And tomorrow we're going to continue on with more of those quests to try to finish them up. And I'm excited for that. Then on the late stream...
So Baldur's Gate yesterday, he made a little bit over $100 or something like that. But it's dead. The stream is dead. I think he had like 230 people actually watching the stream. And there's probably like 3 or 4 people supporting this playthrough. It dried up pretty fast for this guy. I mean, he's still getting the amount of money because they know that the Dents know that the Dents who want him to continue playing this, they know that if he doesn't get that $100 or more, he's gonna quit it. So they continue to support it every fucking day he plays it. That's the only reason why it's hitting the tier 2 tip goal every day. Only fucking reason. He'll give that shit the Wulong treatment with the quickness. So yeah, I mean, and that's wrapping up soon. So I like I said, I can expect him with the dog days of summer coming, April, May, June, where there's really no good games coming out. I can see him trying to weasel his way back in and do a second run of Baldur's Gate 3, because of course that's what his viewers want, is more Baldur's Gate 3. So I can see him definitely bringing it back and doing a second run of it. Either that or Elden Ring. And I'm not even sure about Elden Ring, because when he tried to kick up Elden Ring again for the second run, nobody cared. Nobody watched it. Nobody really paid for it. And that's the reason why he quit it and just moved on to other games. So I don't think he's going to have that effect that he got for the first run. People are going to be like, all right, we already saw you play this. Who cares? And no one's going to support it, and then he'll probably quit the game. Very similar to what he did with Elden Ring. Anyway, let's hear him talk about last night with the Like a Dragon Infinite Beg Pathetic stream.
Tonight, for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I approached it a little differently. For about 20 minutes, we were doing any side content we ran into, but we wanted to get to the story. So we started the story, and we just went full-on story. So listen up. After being in Chapter 8 for like 6 to 8 hours, we beat Chapter 8, and we got almost the entirety through Chapter 9, which is a plot swap from Japan back to Hawaii. And we're getting to the end of Chapter 9, and we ran out of time, but people were like, dude, you're right there. You're like 20 minutes away. You're definitely going to beat it right away, and you're going to go back to Chapter 10, which flips it back over to Japan. I was like, whoa, so that's cool. But in addition to that, we unlocked some new classes, which was awesome, to try out some new classes and things like that. So now Kasuga is a host. And I believe we changed Adachi from detective to chef, and we bought a really good weapon for the chef class. So good progress. And to be frank with everyone, because we talked about this recently on the podcast, okay? I'm going to make big pushes to progress and finish in both Baldur's Gate and Like a Dragon. Reason being, Baldur's Gate is my most long-running playthrough, 120 hours, well, just about 120 hours, and running over 3 months at this point, okay? And Like a Dragon now, I mean, it's about a month and a half, and we're around 45 hours of progress in that one right now. And I feel like if I really push for progress in these games and I play them a lot in the next couple of weeks, we could basically finish one or both by the end of March. And if that's the case, that's exceptionally good, because then everything will be refreshed and new. It won't be the same lingering games going on and on. We could have one major RPG with Final Fantasy VII at that point, but then we can balance it with other types of games that people want. And I think, hopefully, that will bring some more reinvigoration to the channel, because honestly, recently, yeah, the channel's been pretty stagnant, because it's just the same 3 RPGs over and over, and they're not going anywhere. And it seems like they're never ending, right? So I really need to focus on that. And I am. I'm not saying I'm not going to do any side content or whatever, but I think I am going to majorly try to focus on finishing important quests and story and stuff like that. And then if we have time, you know, and we want to do more side questing, by the end we do. But I feel like it's more important right now to focus on story progress in these games. So that's what I'm going to try to do for the next, couple of weeks. Notably, tomorrow, we're doing it again. It's, again, the Level 1 podcast, Baldur's Gate 3, and Like a Dragon. And so because we focus on that, we should make good progress tomorrow. I'm hoping we'll finish the Hag plot line. We'll probably continue on and finish another plot line, and maybe even start a third one tomorrow in Baldur's Gate. I hope we finish Chapter 9, we get into Chapter 10, we see where it takes us tomorrow night in Like a Dragon. We got to keep going. By the way, Like a Dragon has 14 chapters, so we're getting there. We're getting major progress in this, okay? Now,
no one cares about Like a Dragon, Phil. No one cares about that playthrough. It's so odd, because Phil is quick to rage quit any other game. But for some reason, he won't wage quit like a dragon. With especially being that I think the last like what 3 or 4 playthroughs he did, he got what $5 and $7 in support, and no one fucking cares. No one watches it. No one cares. But yet he's adamant about not wage quitting it or cutting back how much of the game he plays. I don't know why he does that for that fucking game. I don't know why he's so pig-headed. He should have dumped that game fucking months ago, or didn't even bother playing it. He just completed finished another Like a Dragon game like a couple months before that no one cared about. Just no one cares about those fucking games, Phil. But yet, you know, you'll quit Tekken. That's the funny thing. This asshole will sit here and try to convince everyone that it's RPG burnout. That's the reason why his channel's stagnant. No one's coming by. No one's watching his content. People are complaining and you know, putting shit into the suggestion box that he needs to change. Those are the reasons why it's RPG burnout. Nothing else, right? But yeah, he'll quit the only game that he plays that isn't a fucking RPG, Tekken. Why? Because he was getting clapped. His ass was getting stomped in it, and he was getting beat, and there was limited support on Tekken. But of course, he wage quit that. But he was making more money on Tekken than he was on Like a Dragon Infinite Beg. So I don't understand the contradiction, Phil's here. Also, RPG burnout, so let me play more Baldur's Gate 3. You're not making any sense, Phil. You're talking out of both sides of your ass. You are, Phil. And I know you like scat humor, and I didn't say mouth. I used ass on purpose because you like the scat humor. But no one's buying it, Phil. Your channel is fucking floundering. It is. It's dead. No one cares. I mean, I've even noticed a dip in like detractor stuff, where even detractors are kind of getting bored of you. You know, I used to put, what, 9 videos of you a day? And now I'm down to, what, 5? Because you're fucking boring. You're boring as all fuck. And of course, we know when Phil gets boring and the support dwindles, he needs to get involved in the drama somehow. So I'm pretty sure he'll try to start a fight with Boogie or Wings or Review Tech USA or maybe LTG yet again to see if he can get some traction on that. But anyway, that's it. He's going to talk about the rest of his schedule tomorrow. No one gives a shit, Phil, about your schedule. Your shit is boring. You're boring, and that's all I have to say. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed Disney Princess Phil. Peace out.